Cryptocurrency curiosity, more generally speaking, has been on the rise. After the successful U.S. rollout of spot Bitcoin ETFs earlier this year, investors have been bidding up Ethereum. That's because of a regulatory pivot towards allowing ETFs for that digital currency as well. And that's keeping Canadian trading platforms such as WonderFi busy. WonderFi, as you might recall, is based on the coming together of three Canadian players, WonderFi, CoinSquare, CoinSmart, to create a standalone crypto exchange operator. As part of the streamlining of its operations, WonderFi also said today CoinSquare is now operating the BitBuy platform, which doesn't change anything for BitBuy accounts, but both the BitBuy and CoinSquare brands are now operated by one fully regulated investment dealer. Dean Skurka is the president and CEO of WonderFi, and he joins me here in studio. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Let's start with your news today and what led to that.
Yeah, absolutely. When we acquired CoinSquare last summer, it was the first and only zero-regulated crypto trading platform in the country. We developed a strategy that would bring all of our other platforms and trading activity within the regulated dealer to provide greater assurances to our users and provide a more robust experience. This morning, we are happy to announce that we had officially migrated the BitBuy accounts and trading platform within the investment dealer, which gives all of our users the comfort and protection that a zero investment dealer would provide.
Taking that business taking those steps at a time when there's a lot of talk around trading in crypto more broadly speaking, what's been happening given the ETF buzz? What's activity been like?
Yeah, absolutely. As you would imagine, we have seen a really positive response on our platforms. You look at the trading activity in the week after the announcement, we saw an approximate 250% increase in Ethereum trading volumes alone. We also offer staking products, which allow our users to stake the Ethereum that they hold with us. And we have seen really meaningful increases in that product as well. So when you think about the service we offer to Canadians, we're really allowing them to come in and trade the assets, but also generate income and yield through these offerings through staking.
Now, you talked on your recent earnings call about your continued vision for profitability. What kind of continued interest in crypto is needed to make your business a sustainably profitable one?
Yeah, well, look, one of the things we focused on over the last few years has been combining the smaller crypto trading platforms in the Canadian market. Through that process, we have created economies of scale that have allowed us to create a profitable business model on an ongoing basis dating back to Q4 of last year. You look at the announcement today, bringing these platforms together in one regulated entity allows for further cost reductions and synergies that will allow our business to continue to operate in a profitable manner going forward. We think as a public company, and certainly in an early industry like the crypto industry, it's really important to find that balance. And so for us to achieve profitability in Q4 and sustain it through Q1, we're really encouraged by that and expect that trend to continue moving forward.
You also talked on your call about shareholder relations, including with big investors like Mogo. A lot has been written recently about the boardroom drama with the business. Is that now resolved?
Yeah, absolutely. We are lucky to have passionate shareholders that share a view on continued growth and success for this business. And we have come together on an aligned basis and really following the AGM, that is behind us, and now we can all collectively continue to focus on the growth initiatives that we have and the product improvements and features that we look to roll out in the years ahead.
It's an interesting time because crypto obviously is an area that a lot of people are curious about investing in, and then the whole ecosystem around it, including your business, are also investable. So there's a lot of connected tissue here. Coming into this session, your stock was down on the year, though. Why do you think that was?
Yeah, look, for us, we have put these businesses together, as you had mentioned, in July of last year, and we've been really focused on establishing that track record and that trust with the investor base that we have and new investors as well. And as we really build out that story and prove through our results, as you can see in Q4 of last year and Q1 of this year, we're really just looking to build out that awareness and understanding of WonderFi as a platform and the success that we've created through these consolidation efforts.
And so you mentioned that since those Ethereum headlines started crossing, you've seen a surge in trading demand for that particular cryptocurrency. How would you compare the appetite going forward between something like Ethereum and Bitcoin?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really encouraging to see. And when you think about the Bitcoin ETFs that launched in January and the success that those products had, it was really important for the industry to be more than just Bitcoin. And so the speed in which these Ethereum ETFs have actually been approved is really positive. And it's a reflection that there is a growing appetite to a broader audience, including traditional finance participants, that the crypto industry is more than just Bitcoin. And so you think about the evolution with an Ethereum ETF, and what we would expect to eventually come would be products that are able to stake the Ethereum and flow that yield back to the unit holder. And so we expect this to be a catalyst for continued adoption, continued interest in the asset class beyond Bitcoin, and we expect product development and relative interest to continue to grow. And that really helps platforms like ours as Bitcoin and the industry improves from a sentiment perspective overall. You think about the past year, there's been a meaningful turnaround, and milestones like the one that we had last week with the Ethereum ETF will only continue that trend and open up this industry to a broader audience.
I mean, the ETF story obviously has sparked a lot of interest. At the same time, I guess for the ETF providers, they're suggesting, hey, if you get exposure through the exchange-traded fund, that's a great way to get some exposure. So how would you characterize the kind of people who are sticking with investing directly in the cryptocurrencies as opposed to investing in the ETFs themselves?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's always going to be participants that are more comfortable buying the ETF products. But when you think about our offering, as mentioned, we allow people to buy Ethereum and also stake Ethereum.
Yeah.
And so, for us, not only is that one example of where we may offer a differentiated experience to the ETFs, but in addition to that, we offer 50 plus assets. And so what you typically see is participants will come in and buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, and it may be through an ETF, and it may be through platforms like BitBuy or CoinSquare. But as they continue to learn more about the industry and learn about smart contracts, layer ones, layer twos, decentralized finance, and all the different elements of the broader industry, they're going to look for exposure to different parts of that ecosystem. And so for us, we think that Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs really open the door to a broader audience of potential participants. And whether or not they buy the asset, first through the ETFs or through platforms like ours, it really opens them up to eventually buying or being interested in buying more assets than just what's available today through those ETF products.